Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and before we get started on today's episode, I want to say go to the platform wherever you listen to podcasts, however you get podcasts. I want you to go. I want you to subscribe, so that way you can get the daily shows, the bonus episodes. You'll be the first one to receive all this goodness that we have to offer. Also, go to the same place and give us 5 stars because we all know you love this podcast, all right? Once again, thanks in advance. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano. This is episode 305 of the world famous, the University of Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call it Online Marketing Moves. And we are coming to you live today. Today is Sunday, June the 13th, 2021. At the time of this recording, this is a Sunday. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about where do you see yourself in 5 years. Now, why are we going to talk about this? Because a lot of times people, when you try new stuff, you try different things. A lot of people go, if it doesn't work in a month, then they throw in the towel, which is it's not good. It's not something you shouldn't do. Football coaches, you ever watch the NFL? You ever watch the NFL? You ever watch basketball? You ever watch, football? If you ever watch any of these sports, a lot of times these days, a mistake that a lot of teams make, they will hire a coach. They will give the coach a year, maybe 2 at the most. And things are not going well, and they're like, you know what? You're fired. Okay. And it doesn't, in order to really know if a coach is going to work out, you should give them at least about 4 years, 4 to 5 years. Now sometimes you're able to see that it's not right, but most of the time the reason why things don't work out is because they do not give the coach a proper chance to implement what they want to do, implement the guys to get to know him. The first year it's sort of like, getting to know each other. And how can you be successful when you just starting to get to know the people, know the players, know their hot buttons, what presses them, what pushes them, what drives them, you know what I mean? But people don't give them time, and it's very short. And a lot of times we get caught up in that situation. We try something out, and you're like, I haven't made any money in 2 weeks, and you're like, oh, forget it, F it, that's it, and nothing comes of it. And then it's like years later, you're like, let me try it again, and you try for another couple weeks, and you're like, oh, nope, didn't work. And it's like, I give an example. I told you about, I tried MLM twice. I gave it, first time I gave it about 8 months. And for me, I just knew I wasn't like a fit, because I could have been there 5 years and I know I wasn't gonna make any money because I didn't have the desire to do that, But if you have the if you know it's something that you want to do, and you have the desire to do it, then I say you should give it a while, give it some real dedication. It's like working out. You're not going to see the results you're looking for in the first month, especially depends on your age. If you're 21 and you do 50 push-ups a day for a month, you'll see some quicker results than I will at the age of 42, and I just do 50 push-ups a month. For me, I'm just trying to lose, 5 or 10. If I lose 10 pounds in a month, I'm like, woo, that's great. But it all depends. But the point is, you want to give yourself some time. So it's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And in order for you to start to see yourself somewhere different, you have to take action. We all know this, but a lot of times we take action. You all gun ho at first, and then the enthusiasm wears off, and then it's like, now what? It's like you're out in the boat, and the engine stopped working, and you just sort of sitting there, and it's like, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna sort of sit out there and wither and die, or you gonna push the boat, crank the engine back up, and get going? And in order for you to get to the 5 year mark, there's gonna be highs, there's gonna be lows, and they're gonna be lows in this whole process that you want to do. But where do you see yourself in 5 years? And a lot of times we try to compact like 5 years in a year. You're like, next year I'm gonna be a gazillionaire, and it's like, give yourself some time. Take your time, take a deep breath. Work on a thing every day. You can't make a gazillion dollars if you're not working on the thing that you want to do on a daily basis. It's not gonna happen. And you should be writing your goals down on a regular basis. Now, a book that I read a while ago, I listened to the book. It's an audio book. I read the book. It's a very good book. It's by a guy named Brian Tracy, and it's about goals. And it's like, if you write your goals down, the more you write your goals down, the more you'll be able to see them, and the more they will come true. Now, I'm not saying that if you write down, I want $1 billion, it's going to happen today. We both know that's not going to happen, but if you write it down and you see it, and then you start to do things that you can start achieving this stuff, then good things will happen. You might not get exactly the $1 billion you're looking for, but you will get a hell of a lot farther than what you would if you didn't take any action, if you didn't write anything down. Now, so check out that book. It's a good book. It's a good audio book too. It's quick. I think it's like 3 or 4 hours maybe. Doesn't take long. It didn't take me long at all to listen to it. Of course, I listen to all my audiobooks at like 1.5 speed, so I don't have to. Once you start listening to audiobooks, you'll get used to the cadence, and so you can listen to them at a faster speed than you would if you don't listen to audiobooks. And then once you go back to like one speed, it sounds like people are talking real slow. So that's a book that I recommend you should check out, and just start writing your goals down and just start visualizing. Hey, I'm gonna give this, especially if you want to go, like, let's say you want to be an actor. Let's say you really, let's say you're 27, and like, you know what, I always wanted to act, so I'm going to be an actor. You wouldn't just go to one. It would be silly for you to go to one audition and you fail, and you're like, well, not even fail, but you didn't get the part. We're not gonna say fail. We're gonna say you didn't get the part. You didn't get the part. Okay, somebody else got the part, and then you went to one audition. What are you gonna say? Ah, man, I didn't get that part. I'm done. Acting ain't for me. Come on, man. Like, it doesn't work like that. You have to really put in the work. You really have to put in the time. You really have to put in the dedication. And then after 5 years, if you're like, hey, I tried the acting thing, maybe it's not. I mean, some people, you see these people, and they're like, they've been at acting for a while, and they've been doing small roles, and if one day they get a role, and it fits them, and it works, and boom, next thing you know, they're like big time. They're like, hey, I'm starting these movies. It's sort of like, who's the guy I saw in the movie? I watched. It's this movie I like with Kevin Costner, and it's called For the Love of the Game, and the guys in there is John C. Riley. And I remember my wife, she had me watch a movie with Meryl Streep and Kevin Bacon, and he was in that movie. And I was like, oh, I didn't know he was in that movie. And I was like, well, this guy's been around a long time. And I remember he was in these little movies, and he had these these roles. They would, but then finally, it was like some movie he was in, and it's like, boom, now this guy's like he's starring in movies. He starred in, what is it, Dewey Cox? I think it was like a comedy, something like that. And so you never know when your time is going to, just come, when it's going to be bright, when it's going to shine. So whatever you want to do, it's sort of like all this stuff. It's like doing. I told you about. Well, we talked about this one day. It was a while ago, but it was this kid. He has like 40 million YouTube subscribers, and I think he was talking, and he was like, I was gonna quit at first because he said he wasn't getting as many views as he wanted, but then he kept going, and then somehow he did some video, and he said it got him a lot of views, and then after that, he just started doing all the same kind of video, but just different ways, And then he said his channel just took off, and now he has 40 million YouTube subscribers, which is amazing. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, the first couple years he was, kind of floundering. He had his thought he hit a peak, thought he hit a wall, but he kept going, and the channel took off, and it's like 40 million people, and that's pretty good. And it's the same with anything, anybody. It's like you'll get frustrated, of course, along the journey, this journey you're on, but just don't quit, just don't throw in the towel. I mean, every now and then I look at the podcast numbers, it's like it was like one point, I remember it was at one point it said on my thing, it was like you're averaging it's like 3 people listen on a regular basis. Like that's what it said. And I was like, 3 people, that's it, And before it was like 5, it had dipped to like 3, and I was like, man, this is. Then I was kind of annoyed. I'm like, man, I'm about to just, yeah, this. And then I'm like, nah. I can't throw in the towel. That'd be kind of crazy. And now we're on the upswing. We started, and then like a few days after that, I got like 200 downloads, and I was like, okay, we're back. And I'm like, so it's all it ebbs, it flows. But the most thing you can do is be consistent, because don't think, oh, if this doesn't happen in a year, I'm gonna quit. Give it some time. Give it a couple of years. Give it 2, 3. Give it 5 years. Like just give it some time, and you will see some results. Especially if it's something that you really want to do. Give it some time. You know what I mean? Like, I know this is I know people say this, and it's kind of silly because like, come on, but it is kind of true. It's like you wouldn't tell a baby if a baby couldn't walk. You wouldn't. If a baby was struggling with walking, you wouldn't be like, just stop, crawl on your belly forever. No, but you know, that's a silly analogy, but because all adults, all people learn how to walk, if you're able to walk, of course. But it's a silly analogy, but it's true. And it's the same for you, like if you want to write, just start writing, just write every day, write as much as you can. And, you know, yeah, at first it's not gonna be good, probably, but you'll get better. You will learn things, you will grow, you will get better, and then it will, you know, next thing you know, you will be a Pulitzer Prize winner. You know what I mean? Newbery Award winner. So just just don't don't think, hey, I'm going to come in this thing and do this thing, and if I don't have results in 2 weeks, I quit. No, don't have that. Don't have that attitude. Take it out there. Take it out there to the 5-year mark. 5 years. 10 years. These things take time. It took me 7 years to really feel comfortable when it came to driving a truck. Like 7 years. Like 7 years. Like by then I had driven over 700,000 miles. 7 years, and I finally was like, all right, I know what I'm doing. Like I'm comfortable. And now this has been year 16, and now I'm really like, all right. I still don't know everything, but I'm like, hey, I'm good. Like I know I'm good. Like I'm good. I can get you from point A to point B. If something happened to the truck, I can get it patched up enough to get us down the highway. You know what I mean? And I know I'm good. I have the confidence. And so these things take time. And a lot of times we get impatient. And a lot of times we see other people. A lot of times we get envious. We get jealous. We get emotional. You don't do that. Just stick with it. Ride it out. And you will see it will pay off. It will pay off. And the thing is, when it does pay off, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. All right. All right. Now, my wife, she's gonna put me to work, so I gotta go, kids. Gotta go. But I hope this helps. Don't Don't give up too soon. Have expectations, but start off slow. In the beginning, have no expectations. Just start doing it, and you'll see. You know, when I started this podcast, I said I'm not gonna have it. I don't have any expectations. Nothing. We're just here to take action. We're just here to do it. And then later on, so for you, do the same thing. Start something, have no expectations, and then write down eventually where you want to get accomplished. Write down your goals. Check out that book by Brian Tracy, Goals. It'll help you. It's a good book. All right, but so anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. I appreciate you for listening. Thanks, and we will talk to you later. And as always, everybody, peace.